Hi, this is the manager's desk. My name is Evan Baltz. I am a marketing technology leader and a team builder. And in honor of the day, happy Thanksgiving. I thought we would talk a little bit about things I'm thankful for and that you should be thankful for as well. So I've got a list of 3 ways to tell your team members that you're thankful for them. Number one, appreciate them throughout the year. It's important that you talk to your employees almost on a daily basis, but also when you do talk to them, appreciate them. Every time you have an interaction, think about something that you can say to show your appreciation. Sometimes it might be for work that was completed on time or for something that they did to help another coworker, or it might be something just that you appreciate about their personality. They have a sense of humor, but do that on a semi-regular basis. Every time you have a one-on-one, if you've got specific things that you want to talk to them about, make sure listing something that you appreciate them about them is right at the top of that list. Probably start with that or end your discussion with them about that. That's number one. Appreciate them throughout the year. Don't just make it at the time of their annual evaluation or special occasion, their birthday or something. It's got to be regular to be meaningful, but don't overdo it, right? I had a baseball coach when I was in high school, and he complimented me 3 times in 3 years of playing varsity baseball. And I remember every one of those 3 times. Now, if he had complimented me all the time, I wouldn't remember any of them and probably wouldn't even think about it. But it was very significant. He said, I played second base. He said, your job as a second baseman is to pick the ball up and throw it to first base. So you don't get a thank you for doing that because that's your job. Now, if you dive deep into the hole and stab the ball in the dirt and get up and make a great throw and get the guy out at first base, then I will appreciate that and I'll let you know that I was thankful for that great play. But that kind of stuck with me. In fact, it's interesting. My baseball coach passed away just a couple of years ago. And at his eulogy, one of his sons even mentioned that I had said that about how important those 3 times that the baseball coach complimented me was. So make it special, but do it frequently. Number two, value who your team members are as people rather than the work they do. It's really easy to get transactional in your relationships with people on your team or coworkers and to say good job or great job with that design or I really like how that looks or I appreciate the work that you did on that. You become someone who is only transactional. You're only interested in what they can do for you, what they have produced, or the level of their work. That kind of sends the wrong message because what it says is that you value the work that they do, but maybe not them as a person. And the work comes and goes. And I say this all the time. The work will come and go. You won't remember. Think back 6 months ago. What were you working on 6 months ago this day? You're not going to remember. But did someone say something nice to you? Were you treated well? Did someone do something that was really meaningful or respectful? Those are the types of things that you'll remember and maybe forever. That's how impactful it can be. But what you need to do is talk about the things about the individual person that are meaningful to you and think of ways you can compliment them about that. And not necessarily compliment, but say that you appreciate. Like I mentioned earlier, saying that you appreciate the person's sense of humor. Had someone at a recent job who always asked really good questions. Now, you could say, good job asking good questions. That's fine. That's a decent, way of being thankful for that person. But to get to the fact of who they are as a person and what generates those questions, which is, I really like that you as a person have an inquisitive mind and you don't just want to accept things as they are. You want to question them and you want to find out ways that we can improve. And I appreciate that about you, that you bring that side of your personality to our meetings or to our one-on-ones or to the team. That's a little bit more of a rewarding statement. Don't make up stuff, but talk about things about them as a person. I really appreciate how caring you are for others. I appreciate your patience, and I'm sure that part of your personality comes in handy in dealing with your children or with family members, things like that. It's more personal and it's more meaningful. So value who they are as a person rather than the work that they do. And number three, tell them that you appreciate them, that you're thankful for them. Tell them. Like, don't just think it, right? Actually say it and write it and do so genuinely and authentically. We've talked about that before, but tell them right to their face or in a one on one or in a Zoom meeting, whatever it might be, but tell them right to their face, look them right in the eye and tell them, I really appreciate you. You are valuable to this team, not because of the work you do, but because of who you are and the personality and the qualities as a human being that you bring to the team. That's something that I believe makes a huge impact. Failure to hear that means that you're just a cog in the machine or you're just a product of the work that you do. And if you didn't do work or didn't do work well all of the time, somehow you would be less valuable. You see what that says to people? It's incredibly important that you value who they are as a person and what they bring to the table on that. It's often overlooked, I think, in corporations and companies and organizations, the part of the personality that people bring to the table is meaningful. It doesn't mean that everybody's the same or everybody brings something different, but recognize in your team and in your team members what specific qualities they bring to the table. That's important. So those are my three quick tips on how to make sure, especially at Thanksgiving, that your team members experience having their manager be thankful for them. I think everyone will appreciate that. And as a manager, you're thankful for the times that your team members reach out to you as well, right? Like that's something that's incredibly meaningful. And they say thank you to you as a manager. And from time to time, managers send me really thoughtful notes that they have received, meaningful notes that they've received from the people that they manage. And I thought for this occasion, I would share some of those. I think they'll kind of tug at your heartstrings. These are the kinds of things that managers love to hear. So I thought I'd share a couple with them. Number one, this is a note that was sent to a manager, and I'll just read it. Man, I have to say, you just get it as a leader. Thinking about the compassion in leadership, it's such a lost concept because we put such a heavy emphasis on money. I had a job in the past that denied me time off for Christmas because of end of year sales and deadlines. And I stayed home while my fiance flew back to Vegas and spent some time with family. It crushed me and gave me a real bleak view on managers and what their motives were. Working with you really restored hope in my view on leadership. Aside from the amazing people I have met on the team and the collaboration we have, I think one of the biggest benefits I got from this place was a definition of a true leader and not just a manager. They don't deserve you, and I really hope we cross paths professionally again. Man, those are the kind of notes that that's what you live for as a manager. And I'm sure that manager really appreciated a heartfelt note like that. Here's another one. When you talked about getting to the root cause of a complaint, I remembered how you handled when I was accused wrongly of something. Some team members shared how you handled this and asked them, what if there was a reason behind that action that I was taking? And maybe it wasn't to sabotage the team. That gave them room to dig even further. And when they found out that it wasn't the case, and they found out that it wasn't the case. Again, you sent out a general reminder to the entire team about meeting etiquettes without specifically directing it to me. Funny, I saw the email and I just assumed, oh, well, we all need to be reminded of expected behavior around virtual meetings, et cetera, et cetera. When the team realized the false accusation, they reached out and apologized, and then it clicked. I just admired how gracefully you handled that situation. Those are the kind of heartfelt notes that managers love to hear, and you can foster that type of environment. It all kind of comes back to what kind of an example are you setting for your team members and how you are thankful for them, how you appreciate them. Are you doing it transactionally out of uh, the feeling that you have to because a manual said so or some guy in a podcast told you to? Or are you doing it because you really feel it? They'll respond in kind. You've set the example. This is the way we're going to treat each other. We're going to treat each other as human beings. We're going to care about each other. We're going to respect each other. And especially this time of year, I encourage you to be thankful for your employees and let them know. All of these podcasts are available on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and on Spotify. We look forward to seeing you next time. And I hope that you and your family and your team all have a great and wonderful Thanksgiving.